Welcome to the Tercept podcast, where we interview leading technology executives in ad tech and media. I'm Gaurav Chindur, and I have Hank Patton with me today. Hank is the CEO of Random Logic Games. Hank, welcome. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, Gaurav. Thanks for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself as well as Random Logic Games?
Sure. Random Logic Games, we produce mobile games. We develop and publish our own games. We're in the casual space, maybe hyper casual, primarily producing puzzle, word, and trivia games. I was the first full-time hire at Random Logic Games back in April of 2014, and I've been with the company ever since. In summer of 2022, our current CEO and one of the co-founders of the company was hired away by a different game studio, and they asked me to take over running the day-to-day operations for the company.
Got it. Got it. Tell me, Hank, how does Random Logic Games handle ideation and creation of new games? Do you have like a set template, a bunch of rules, a framework, anything that you could
Uh,
share?
yeah, not necessarily a template, but we do follow kind of a general process for every app that we feel has we've kind of narrowed down a process that we like. So we have a brainstorming production team. We meet pretty regularly, and when we're working on a new game in our cycle, we're brainstorming ideas based off of what we see in the market, kind of user trends, neat ideas that we've played elsewhere that we kind of want to take a part of the mechanic and uh, make a version of it in a casual game. Um, and then from there, once we settle on a few ideas, we'll prototype out a simple build with minimal textures, utilizing some of the game mechanics that we discussed. And from there, we really try to iterate on those mechanics and that basic uh, loop and find the fun in the loop. We try to make games that have a short, repeatable loop of something interesting and fun and engaging. And once we settle on what that looks like in whatever the new app is, we start fully building out the design. This is where we start incorporating retention and monetization strategy, ads, purchases, kind of daily engagement or weekly engagement type mechanics.
Interesting, interesting. You've been building games for a long time, Hank. Do you see a lot of changes over the years? The kind of audiences, the kind of game preferences, and things like that?
Yeah, we do. We've seen a bunch of changes. It's been a pretty large shift over the last 10 years, 8 to 10 years away from simplistic games. Our early games were extremely simple by today's mobile game standards. Just simple emoji trivia games. What do these two emojis next to each other? What word do they spell? Um,
Uh-huh.
it feels like these days that kind of game can't really be a success in the market. There are still simple games that are successful, but the users have become so sophisticated and so used to sophisticated engagement and game mechanics, even in the casual space, that making a super simple game with minimal mechanics seems almost impossible, at least to have it be successful at a decent scale.
Nice, nice. And once you've launched a game, Hank, does the Random Logic team have certain benchmarks, certain metrics that you track? Anything that's specific to Random Logic games and your team?
Yeah, probably industry standard. We utilize Firebase, Google Analytics extensively, as well as Adjust, which is our attribution provider. We're
Uh-huh.
tracking user behavior, user journey, kind of the flow of a user through an app. Um, we want to see what in aggregate, we're not tracking individual users, but in aggregate, what users are doing in an app once they get into it, how long they're in it. Um, how long they take to complete a level, how many levels they complete, if they're engaging with our ad placements, if it's an ad revenue game,
Uh-huh.
just kind of general user flow and experience.
Got it. Got it. And do you have certain thresholds on some of these metrics to before which you can kind of declare a game to be successful, or certain directions that these metrics need to take?
Yeah, so generally speaking, we're looking for high engagement in early sessions, preferably with multiple sessions per day from users. We generally see a positive correlation between LTV and a user completing mini puzzles or levels or loops, depending on what the game is, in their first 2 to 3 sessions. Um, Generally speaking, we really prefer seeing very high engagement early on in a user's life cycle. Um, and then from there, if we are seeing high engagement with the game and as well as the monetization system in the game, we'll start launching some low budget UA campaigns to see if the LTV of the game can support them, see how the ad networks feel about the strength of our users and the CPMs we get. And
Uh-huh.
from there, if those are successful, we begin trying to scale the campaigns as much as the app can support it.
Very interesting. And when you measure LTV, do you measure a combination of in-app as well as ad monetization LTV, or do you look at that separately?
No, yeah, we aggregate them. M- Most of our portfolio is very high in-app advertising revenue, usually above 80 to 85%.
Uh-huh.
Um, we have a couple of apps that we get a little bit more in-app purchase revenue from, but for us, it doesn't really make sense to separate them. We're mostly running our UA campaigns on ad ROAS basis once we get a baseline, and um, but so the purchases that come in are not necessarily part of the campaign optimization that we're running, but we do still evaluate the LTV utilizing the purchases as well.
Got it. Got it. So fair to say that ad monetization is switched on from day one.
Yes, for the most part. We have experimented with a couple of apps that are low ad
Uh-huh.
placement apps. Um, we have not seen a ton of success with those.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
The ad based model seems to still work, although CPMs have been dropping over the years. But it our most successful games are still ad based for us.
Interesting. Interesting. Can you talk a little bit about how you've integrated SEP dashboards and all of this measurement and all of this process that you've set up, and how you use those to judge some of these metrics on your apps?
Yeah, so Tercept provides an excellent broad top-down perspective to our data. The aggregated data reporting allows us to see trends in both revenue and spend across our entire portfolio. We're actively maintaining about 10 apps right now with an additional 6 or 7 published that we maintain a little less frequently.
Uh-huh.
So being able to see this whole holistic view of our entire portfolio, we can see long-term trends uh, by app, by campaign, by network. We can see short-term performance. It's a pretty useful tool. One of the main benefits is uh, we measure most of our campaigns through our MMP on a ROAS basis, return on
Uh-huh.
ad spend, and that's generally how you should measure campaign performance, but it does not allow you to see your cohorts stacking week over week and month over month and see when you spill over from not being profitable on a campaign or on an app to being
Right.
profitable. And Tercept allows us to do that. We can see our cohorts stacking revenue week over week and month over month over time and project when we expect our UA efforts to become profitable.
Fantastic. I'm glad Tercept has been a helpful tool to you and your team. To get started with Tercept, was it a complex lift? What was kind of the turnaround time between getting started to actually receiving actionable metrics on the platform?
Yeah, it was not a complex lift for us at least. I can't speak to Tercept's side, but I believe so. We've been with Tercept for almost a year now, and to my recollection, it was about 2 weeks to get a trial up and running with some useful data in it. From our end, we mostly provided access to Tercept's team in the form of API keys, adding some Tercept users to some of our partner platforms like our MMP and different networks that we utilize. Overall, from our side, the integration of or the initial setup of Tercept was quick and painless.
Very cool, very cool. You're right. So we try to target about a couple of weeks for setting things up and getting the metrics and reports going. And with the random logic games team, it was pretty straightforward for us as well because we got a lot of clarity on what exactly you're looking for, and we got fast access to some of these partners that you're working with. So it's been a great start. When you
Wonderful.
picked Tercept, absolutely. When you picked Tercept, did certain things stand out with respect to Tercept and its competitors? Were there any differentiators that came up on your evaluation?
So definitely, one of the key differences between Tercept and some of the competitors we checked out was the flexibility and customization that Tercept offered. Many of the other vendors in this at kind of aggregated data reporting space are extremely large companies with many clients, and each client's just another line item on their quarterly report that they don't really work with you in a personal way. Um, Counter to that, Tercept is more nimble, more flexible. You guys work with us to generate pretty much whatever we ask for. It's been super flexible. The customer service we've received from our team at Tercept, led by Rupam and um, I'm not sure actually how to pronounce his name, Sanjit.
Sanchit,
Um, Sanjit is has been excellent. I talk to him in Slack all the time, but not in voice. Um, and yeah, they've just been great. They've helped us generate new reports, new views, um, just kind of customizing everything we need when we need it.
that's fantastic. Fantastic. Well, that's just about time for today. I have a set of quick fire questions which are a bit more fun. Are you up for it?
All right, sure.
Awesome. What's your favorite sport?
Definitely golf. I love golfing. I like to wake up early. My wife and I have a 5-year-old son that gets going to school. I like to wake up early and go walk 9 holes of golf before my workday starts, right after he gets out of the house. Try to do that as much as I can.
Very cool. Very cool. What are you currently watching on Netflix?
So on been watching Adolescence. I'm almost done with it. I think I have one episode left. It's kind of a thing right now that a lot of people are watching. But I've also recently been catching up with Silo on Apple TV Plus, I think, which has been out for a while, but we had never watched it. So my wife and I have started in watching that, and we really like it.
Very nice. Adolescence is in my list as well. Up next for me, actually. What's your pick, Hank, between Tercept and your favorite game, Infinite World Search?
So our game Infinite Word Search is great if it's what you're looking for. But personally, I'll pick Tercept. I like seeing our data. I like seeing kind of the growth of the apps and the success of our campaigns and all of our efforts into making the our product successful. And Tercept's a better way to see that. But I do play our games quite a bit for testing purposes.
Nice. That's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Hank, for your time. I really appreciate you being on this podcast. I'm sure our audiences will really benefit from some of these metrics and strategies that you've shared with us today. Thank you so much.
Of course, happy to be here.